We invited Kelvin McKenzie because I'm not sure if it's uniquely, but certainly fairly uniquely. He's been in the local newspapers since you actually started it.
Yeah, good time.
You were in local radio when wireless, which had, of course, a national station in Talk,
and was very profitable.
Which you sold.
As it is today.
And sold, you know, now a gentleman of leisure and sort of investor.
Well, not really, but carry on. Not the last.
And of course, you're involved in local TV in the sense that you ran, when you were with Mirror Group, live TV, which was effectively a network with local opt-outs. I mean, in some ways, it's not a million miles away from some of the models we talked about today. But I want to read my text, Kelvin, is live TV by Chris Horry and Adam Nathan.
By the way, those guys were totally skimmed. I mean, completely skimmed until they came across me, right? And then suddenly, they've all become bloody millionaires on the back of these disgusting, rather true books. Yeah.
Anyway, chapter 31. This is talking about the concept of local opt-outs. McKenzie showed no interest at all in the local opt-outs, or in doing news in competition with Channel 1, which was particularly Channel 1 in Liverpool, who we heard of earlier. That's not our game, he said. He derided the idea the city TV station could work, saying that a house fire in Peckham is of no interest to people in Ealing, and in fact they would be secretly pleased. So I suppose the question is, have you changed your mind?
No. I think it's a commercial disaster, the idea of local television, and the manner, and so anybody going into it, I think, is completely nuts. But what it will do, it will attract entrepreneurial spirits who believe the complete opposite of that, and that I rather applaud. So most people make their money by doing the opposite in life to what is convention, including, by the way, Rupert Murdoch, of course, who's now being penalised for doing the opposite. So if you were in 1989, somebody said to you, "I tell you what, I've got a great idea. What we do is we put these rather curious dishes on people's roofs, and we fire a television signal from 93 million miles away at it, and in the end of the day, I'm going to make nearly $1 billion of free cash within 20 years. You would have literally been taken outside and immediately sectioned. I don't know what Mental Health Act number it is, but you know, one you call social. In the local council, you can get it done overnight, probably with the ex-husband or the wife or something. So I think I admire the entrepreneurial spirit, but having seen it work, you can't invest enough money to make it look like good telly. And when it doesn't look like good telly, people think it's amateurish and therefore not of any interest. And actually, funnily enough, what does happen locally, and I know because I stood as a local councillor on the exclusive platform of the fact that my railway station car park had gone up 43%, and nobody bloody asked me, right? And I put my money in, and I found out it was going to be more money. I stood on that, and actually, uniquely, despite the fact that was the only thing I did, I printed off the thing, went around all the local houses, Weybridge South. The fact is, unless you were a Russian billionaire, you can't live around my way anyway, right? Despite that, I even fucked the Lib Dems. They came second, they came third to me. So local does matter slightly, but it doesn't seem to matter a lot. I can't, and all I suspect is you're going to end up with ads that look like those Odeon ads, you know, from about 25 years ago. You know, ping pong's Chinese is pleased to welcome you and get 8% discount and all that. There's no money in it, and I would urge everybody in this room, I don't know if you're going to invest it, don't do it, right? I have a very good idea I'm trying to raise money for right now, right? And honestly, it won't be as disastrous as that, unless it's Media Square, of course. But anyway,
let's talk about demand. Just pick up on this one about, you know, when it really matters. Maybe some people.
Why don't we talk about Rupert instead? It's much more interesting.
Well, you know, given your allegiance to some, would expect nothing else. The fact is that there does seem to be demand for local product, for local information.
Yeah.
But earlier on, before we were to join us, Philip Graff talked about the difference between news and information, and said that. And everything we've heard today assumes that local television will have news of it. And yet we've also heard that actually economically that doesn't make sense. Going back to those live days, the debate seemed to be between those of you who thought, forgetting Norwegian Weather Girls and Topless Starts, that there was like programming which had an appeal. and the insertion of local content.
Yeah.
Now that's sort of where the shop, hypotheses have got to. That's
Yeah,
the way to do it.
Yeah, well, what you're really doing is you're taking something that you spent a hell of a load of money on and inserting something that you're not spending any money on with advertising that can't support it. And I would have thought that was absolute madness, to be honest with you. I can't understand it. Now, and the other thing is that anybody who thinks that what happens in America can be replicated over here. I mean, America is a continent. This is a bloody poxy little bloody country, and it has different thought processes from, if you're down in, Arizona, it has a different thought process from Seattle or somewhere in New England. So I honestly don't accept, and also the scale of it, there's 300 million in America, there's 60 million odd here. America doesn't have the BBC. There are so many reasons why I would have thought it was quite tough to do it, and I don't want to put anybody off doing it, because I admire people who lose money more than I admire people who make money. So, but at the end of it all, I would say don't do it. Don't do it. Or if you are going to do it, I think you should do it in an amateurish way. I think it's much more interesting that if you've got together with half a dozen people, like-minded people, formed, for instance, the Weybridge Media Society or the Weybridge Tea Party, people who were prepared with their cannons, which do stills and HD ready for 1,500 quid, right? And literally to go around, and those things that you've heard locally, that the camber in the road is causing crashes up in Hanger Hill, or that the price of your railway car park's going up, or you've heard that there's a brothel behind a blue door next to the Focus supermarket round the corner. And literally just people put their time together, probably retired people, right? Literally, retired, literally, as old as Roger Parry, for instance, and retired people who aren't chairman, and I would make it like that. And I think then if you then printed it all off and just do what I did when I stood as independent, just went round to people, I think you'd get people to come and do it, and I think that way you would get an involvement in what is massively important, which is local news. But the idea that you're going to do this to try and make money, I say, is preposterous. I mean, you're watching the death of the local paper now. It makes me laugh when the local paper's dying. The reason they're dying is the same reason that the local corner stores die. Nobody's fucking going in there, right? And nobody is buying those local papers. So it's a spiral of despair. Less people are buying it, less people are using the ads, therefore there's less revenue, therefore there are more reporters being chucked out, therefore it's not as interesting, therefore it's going to die. I'm not saying that all local papers are going to die, but honestly, 10 years from today, you're just not going to see these papers there. And so I believe in the very, very, very much, and I'm massively interested in my local area, right? And I'm massively upset sometimes at the lack of quality of the local journalism as well. But how can you blame anybody? These people, they're having to live around Weybridge, Walton and Cobham, the richest area of the country. These kids are being paid, between 10 and 12 grand a year. I mean, it just can't happen. They can't get anybody in. Nobody in their right mind is going to go and work for that kind of money. Which of course is another issue about why we have media colleges. But anyway, so it's ridiculous, isn't it? Paying 9 grand to end up being paid about 40s when you come out. I mean, the bloody game. How long are these places going to survive?
I must just ask the students present to cover their ears for a minute.
So yes, local massively important. B, it can't work in the manner in which it's being described. But C, good luck to everybody. Somebody will have a go at it. There were probably people in this room, but I think they're mad. I think they do a lot better if they just got together with like-minded people. You can produce some fantastic telly. You've got slash editing machines that cost you threepence now. You've got cameras that can do it. You've got people who've got spare time. And this is another reason why I'm against media colleges. Actually, the truth about the matter is you can get people stand up in front of a camera and or write even more. The idea of print and the university degree is ludicrous, right? And the idea that you do that, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And even if you're no good at voice pieces to camera, even if you're no good at pieces to camera, you can anybody can voice everything now. I mean, that's what the PC is there. That's what the PC has done. So focus completely on local and focus completely. I mean, it's like having a conservation society. Yeah, right. I mean, who would have thought, you know, conservation, they'd be exactly the same local media societies. And it will be interesting, and in the end, everybody will catch on, and in the end, thanks to the television, you will actually be able to watch it in your front room. Right, so thanks to all the boxes that are now being interviewed, so massive, I'm massively up for it, but don't try and make any money out of it. It's not a money-making proposition.
I mean, I'm often the chance, but I just must ask you a question. People like the session following this, the BBC's role in this.
I don't think they haven't got a role. Who wants to? Nobody's going to pay them any more money. Thank Christ for that. Did you notice that among all the cuts, the one thing there was no complaint about was the fact that it's all been held back for 6 years. Fantastic. Great government, this. Yeah, the BBC.
I mean, they basically said out of licence fee money, they meant to come, in a sense, launch it.
Well, yeah, but they do quite a good job for what they do, don't they? I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, it's got nothing to do with local, though. They're producing television which stretches from, you know, in my area, from Kent on one side to Guildford. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it's bigger than Belgium. You know, I mean, the idea this is local is ludicrous. And so it's not local television. It's quite a number of quite interesting little stories, and you're quite interested. You know, the firemen have got up their dispute, and that seemed to get everybody excited for London. So I don't think the BBC have got a role. I'm not sure they want a role right now. I mean, where are they going to find the money from? They're supposed to be going skim. You know, all day long, you know. Isn't it a bloody laughter? The taxman making $1 million a year and he goes on fucking strike. Please. I mean, they ought to publish. They should publish the top 50 earners who went on strike today. And then just watch it. Remember what we said about the firemen? They're on 33 grand, but basically what is a 3-day week all year, you know, despite we just run it about 4 days and 4 days. So it's 3 days a week, but 33 grand. These people are making masses of money. Masses of bloody money. They all have their own private pension schemes as well. It's a bloody disgrace. Not a bloody word's been written about it. Go on.
We'll park that one for a moment. Jackie Lever from the Community Organisation IFS is going to agree with what Kelvin said.
Yeah, Jackie Lever from the Community Organisation. Interestingly, Kelvin, I think you talked your way round exactly to the community media model.
Yeah.
It works exactly like that in community radio now. I wouldn't say it's all round for a
But you don't want money from us, do you? You don't want money from the taxpayer, do you?
I'd love some money from you, but I think the whole thing about local television, it should be kind of based around a not-for-profit model, which doesn't mean not making surpluses. You need to do that, you can invest. But the money isn't going out to shareholders, it stays within the business, essentially.
What money?
Wherever it comes, but the model you've just described.
Yeah, okay, two things. But, okay, well, I'm delighted you agree with me, but I have one issue. I don't want to pay anybody anything out of the taxpayers' money or me privately, right? You want to rattle the can, that's fine. You've got a nice yellow bucket, I'll see you at the station. But I don't want to pay anything, and I don't like the idea of it being you know, like a make-work project. You know, I don't want to be like a charity or something like that. Immediately I hear that, and by the way, you'd be done for then. Absolutely done for. Somebody mentioned diversity, and then nobody watched the bloody thing at all. You know? So I'm not in favour of it.
Any other questions from the company? Okay, I think you've made your views very clear.